So the Dallas Mavericks are now looking to trade Klay Thompson.
His house is actually 5 or 10 minutes away from the practice facility in Hermosa Beach. So everything was perfect for him to finish his career here.
I don't know how the man feels, but obviously people have feelings, and people's feelings get hurt, even if they're called a bad word. I guess his feelings just got hurt.
Oh my goodness!
I believe the transcript will support that.
I'm not going to comment on what Klay said, because I know where it can go from this sit-in. It's so hard to take the high road.
But Klay Thompson hit free agency in the summer of 2024. Most people assumed the ending was already written. A California kid, a father who became a legend in Los Angeles, a house minutes from the Lakers practice facility. It felt like destiny, pointing him toward the purple and gold. And the Lakers acted like it. They didn't just make an offer. They put down more money than Dallas. They rolled out the full-pitch championship history Hollywood market and a chance to finish his career where his family name still echoes through the rafters. But the most important part of the recruitment wasn't from the front office at all. It came from LeBron James. The same LeBron who battled Klay in 4 straight NBA finals, who spent years game planning to slow down his shooting, personally picked up the phone and made his case. It wasn't a casual call either. LeBron made it clear, let's finish our legacies together in LA. When the greatest player of his era recruits you directly, most guys don't even think twice. And yet, Klay walked away. He chose Dallas for reasons that seemed logical at the time. Texas offered no state income tax, meaning his contract went further. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving promised a high-powered offense built around superstar gravity. And after the tension, miscommunication, and awkward ending with Golden State, Dallas felt like a clean break, a fresh start free of expectations and comparisons. On paper, it all made sense. Emotionally, it felt like the beginning of a new chapter. But in reality, the decision has aged worse than anyone predicted. What was supposed to be a revival has turned into a slow-motion unraveling, forcing everyone to ask the same question: did Klay Thompson bet on the wrong future? And is that choice now dragging him right back toward the Lakers after all? When Klay Thompson arrived in Dallas, the Mavericks honestly believed they had solved their last weak spot. Coming off a finals run, they viewed him as the final piece, the veteran sniper who would stretch the floor, punish double teams on Luka, and add championship DNA to a roster suddenly feeling inches from a title. On paper, it looked perfect. In reality, the fit unraveled almost immediately. Dallas plays one of the most heliocentric offenses in the league, where nearly everything flows through one creator, Luka first, Kyrie second. That's not inherently a bad system, but it's the polar opposite of the environment where Klay spent his entire career. In Golden State, he thrived on movement screens, rhythm, and constant flow. In Dallas, he was reduced to a stationary catch-and-shoot option, standing in corners waiting for the ball to swing his way. The result, a legendary shooter suddenly looking like a role player trapped inside a role that didn't fit. The numbers told the truth: early 27% from the field, entire weeks averaging 8 points a night, and long, painful stretches where he couldn't find any rhythm at all. His confidence dipped, his touches dipped even more. And once Jason Kidd experimented with bringing him off the bench, the frustration behind the scenes started to build. Nobody says it publicly, but benching a 5-time All-Star is a psychological blow, especially for someone who built his legacy on big moments. Coaching decisions didn't help either. One night, he played 30 minutes. The next, he barely cracked 18. Some games he closed, others he sat. The revolving rotations created confusion for everyone, but especially for a rhythm player like Klay. The harsh truth is simple. Dallas built a system Klay Thompson was never meant to succeed in. The failure wasn't just his. It was structural, predictable, and now painfully obvious. The moment Klay's struggles stopped looking like a slow start and started looking like the new normal, the Mavericks front office felt the pressure shift. Nico Harrison, the architect behind the move, didn't wait for the media storm to hit. He began quietly calling around the league, asking teams a simple but telling question: what would you give up for Klay Thompson? Those conversations weren't public at first. They never are. But in the NBA, nothing stays hidden for long. Agents hear whispers. Scouts trade stories. Rival executives leak what they learn just to see how other teams react. And before Dallas could contain it, the murmurs spread. The Mavericks were already exploring Klay's trade value just months after signing him. This wasn't panic for show. This was real internal urgency rooted in fear of the one thing Dallas cannot afford: wasting Luka Doncic's prime. Luka is putting up historic numbers every year, but the franchise knows the clock is ticking. Stars don't wait forever. And watching Klay shoot 27% while the offense sputtered only amplified that pressure. Dallas desperately needs two things they thought Klay would provide: spacing and defense. Instead, they've gotten neither. He isn't creating shooting gravity, and he can't stay in front of quicker wings anymore. Every weakness in his game exposed something missing in theirs. The one advantage Dallas does have: Klay's contract is movable. It's team-friendly short-term and structured in a way that doesn't kill flexibility. That's exactly why teams are willing to talk and why Dallas can't ignore the calls. But here's the part every NBA insider understands. Once a front office starts calling around, players never return to normal. That line has ended careers, broken relationships, and rewritten locker rooms, and now it's hanging over Klay Thompson's future in Dallas like a storm cloud. Dallas expected the on-court transition to take time. What they didn't expect was how quickly the off-court noise would swallow Klay's entire season. It started with harmless clips a few seconds of him at an airport smiling, greeting someone, nothing remotely scandalous. But social media doesn't need context. Those videos went viral with captions like, "He doesn't care anymore," and "washed superstar energy." From that point on, every missed shot became a meme, every quiet game became evidence, and every camera angle became a talking point. And once fans start questioning your focus, even unfairly, the narrative becomes almost impossible to shake. Talk shows amplified it, throwing around the dreaded word players hate hearing "washed." It didn't matter that Klay has always had a laid-back demeanor. It didn't matter that he famously starts seasons cold. The story had already been written for him, and when media personalities repeat something long enough, even the most confident athletes feel it. Then came the illness, a stretch of missed games at the worst possible time. His rhythm, already fragile, shattered completely. For a movement shooter like Klay, rhythm isn't just important, it's everything. Miss a week, lose your legs. Miss 2, lose your timing. Miss 3, and suddenly you're fighting your own mechanics, not the defense. Inside the locker room, teammates wouldn't throw him under the bus, but frustration grew quietly. A team coming off a finals run doesn't have patience for extended slumps. Younger players saw minutes slip away. Veterans wondered whether the coaching staff even knew what the rotation was supposed to be. And every time Dallas lost a close game, eyes drifted toward the guy who was supposed to be their floor spacer. That's when the whispers got louder. The noise wasn't just outside anymore, it was creeping into Dallas's decision-making. And all of it pushed the Mavericks even closer to the trade phone. While Dallas was spiraling, the Lakers were dealing with a crisis of their own, one that made Klay Thompson's name suddenly relevant again. LeBron James, sidelined with back issues, wasn't just watching games from home. He was studying them. Every possession, every misread, every broken offensive set. And one weakness kept jumping out: the Lakers couldn't shoot. Even with Anthony Davis dominating inside and the role players giving maximum effort, the spacing was suffocating. Defenders were clogging the paint, daring the Lakers to take threes. They didn't respect the perimeter at all. LeBron knew that if he came back to this version of the roster, he would be carrying a heavier load than a 40-year-old body should. And that's when Klay's name began resurfacing inside the Lakers' orbit. Regardless of his struggles and Dallas Thompson's championship, DNA still means something in the NBA. 4 rings, iconic playoff moments, and a reputation for being unshakable when the lights get brightest. That's the kind of resume LeBron has always gravitated toward. Their finals rivalry didn't create bitterness. It created respect. After facing Klay's shooting storms for years, LeBron knows better than anyone how valuable a locked-in Thompson can be. And here's the psychology behind it. LeBron trusts veterans who understand pressure. Guys who don't melt in hostile arenas, guys who don't panic when the season's on the line. Klay fits that mold better than almost anyone available. For LeBron, it isn't about what Klay is right now, it's about what he could still become in the right environment. But there's a twist. This time, the Lakers aren't chasing him with desperation or throwing huge offers his way. Not anymore. They want him only if the price is right, only if the Mavericks are the ones sweating. And that sets up a chess match that could reshape the entire Western Conference. Beneath all the noise, all the rumors, and all the trade speculation, one question decides everything: is Klay Thompson truly finished? Or has he simply been used the wrong way to answer that you have to look at the system he's in, because context is everything in the NBA. In Golden State, Klay lived inside a basketball ecosystem built entirely around movement, screens layered on screens, split cuts, off-ball actions designed to free him for rhythm shots, Curry's gravity as a ball handler, tilted defenses just enough for Klay to glide into pockets of space. He didn't need the ball. He needed motion. He needed flow. Dallas is the opposite. It's a heliocentric offense where Luka and Kyrie control virtually every possession. Everyone else stands, waits, and reacts. Klay isn't built for that. He's not a static shooter. He's a motion engine who needs the ball zipping around the floor. In Dallas, he became a statue, in the corner a role player trapped in a superstar's body asked to thrive in a system that strips away everything that made him elite. And yes, the health question is real. 2 devastating injuries, an ACL tear and an Achilles tear, have changed him. The lift isn't the same. The lateral quickness has faded. At 35, the aging curve doesn't lie. But here's the part most fans miss. None of this has erased his shooting mechanics, his timing, or his muscle memory. The film still shows flashes of vintage Klay quick-release threes in transition off-balance catch-and-shoot moments that look exactly like the old him. They're rare now, but they're still there. The mental side matters too. Being benched for the first time in his career shook him. Rhythm shooters rely on confidence. And when confidence cracks, performance follows. So is he finished? Not necessarily. Klay Thompson has gas left, just not in Dallas. In the right ecosystem with movement, spacing, and trust, he can still be dangerous. And certain teams, especially one in Los Angeles, know exactly how to bring that version of him back. As the rumors heated up, the entire conversation shifted from will Dallas trade Klay to what would it actually take to get him? And that's where everything exploded. Few topics have divided NBA fans this season, more than the potential trade packages tied to Klay Thompson. Every option feels like a gamble, and every fan base has something to lose. The most polarizing idea is the Austin Reeves-centered package. Reeves is young, improving, and already a fan favorite in Los Angeles. He brings playmaking, competitiveness, and upside, exactly what rebuilding or retooling teams crave. Mavericks fans look at Reeves as a perfect Luka-side complement. Lakers fans look at him as the bridge between the present and the future. Trade him for a declining 35-year-old, to many that feels like emotional suicide. But others argue that LeBron's window demands proven playoff performers, not development projects. Then there's the Vanderbilt plus picks scenario, where the Lakers hang on to Reeves and instead offer Vando's defensive versatility paired with draft compensation. Mavericks fans like Vando's ability to fix their defensive holes. Lakers fans like not giving up Reeves. But Dallas knows Vando alone isn't enough for a 4-time champion, even one in decline. The most realistic path may be a multi-team deal potentially, including Daniel Gafford going to LA for rim protection, while Klay becomes the shooting piece. This solves salary matching and gives every side something they want. Still, coordinating a multi-team trade is a puzzle few front offices have the guts to complete midseason. The split between fan bases is intense. Lakers supporters are torn between nostalgia, the fantasy of LeBron and Klay ending their careers together, and practicality, which says you don't sacrifice your future for a maybe. Mavericks fans are torn too, debating whether to cash out on youth or cling to the hope that veteran experience still matters. And that's the truth. This deal only happens if Dallas panics, or if LeBron insists. If this trade actually happens, it won't just shift playoff odds or shake up the Western Conference standings, it will redefine the final chapters of 2 Hall of Fame careers. For LeBron James, this move represents something far bigger than adding another shooter. It's about one last run, one last title push before the window finally closes. At his age, every season feels like rolling the dice against time, and LeBron knows he can't afford to waste a year waiting for young players to develop or hoping inconsistent shooters suddenly catch fire in May. He needs veterans, he needs certainty, and he needs players who have already tasted the pressure of the biggest moments. Klay fits that mold perfectly. For Klay Thompson, the stakes are even more personal. A trade to Los Angeles wouldn't just be a new opportunity, it would be a homecoming, a path to resurrecting a legacy that has taken hit after hit over the past few seasons. Playing in the city where he grew up with a father who became a Laker legend surrounded by a fan base that understands his family history would give him a chance to rewrite the narrative. Instead of going out quietly in Dallas, he could finish with purpose, spotlight, and pride. For Dallas, a trade would be a lifeline. They're not trying to win headlines, they're trying to save their season before Luka Doncic loses patience. If they wait too long this season, and maybe the locker room slips away. Moving Klay would be a decisive pivot, an acknowledgement that the experiment failed, and a chance to regain shooting defense or youth while still keeping their championship hopes alive. And for the Lakers, it's the ultimate risk versus reward moment during the most fragile era of the franchise. They either land a legendary shooter who could swing entire playoff series, or they take on an aging star who may not rediscover the old spark. Because at its core, this isn't just a trade. It's 2 legends fighting time, reputation, and history, hoping they have one last chapter left to write.